What's going on, Internet? And welcome to another ARFCOM review. Today, we're going to be talking about comms. This is a little bit more dense of a discussion than what most people have. I am part of the Baofeng gang, and I am woefully inadequately prepared for my cell phone to stop working. I am here with the Gridbase guys. I have Jake and Jacob with me. We're going to get into a really cool deep dive with this. I have both of them here with me to talk about all of this cool accoutrement, but here's a quick word from our sponsor.
Today's video is brought to you by the Mark 15 Hydra, the most versatile black rifle platform the industry has ever seen. The most you will ever need to convert calibers is a barrel, bolt, and magwell. Changing is quick and easy, and the combinations are practically limitless. With one serialized lower, you can have any configuration you can imagine. And by TNVC.com, with the new Mars laser rangefinder from Envision in stock and ready to ship. It is a compact LRF packed with features including a 2,000 meter range, built-in ballistic computer, and Bluetooth. It features a red aiming laser as well as an IR ranging laser, which cannot be detected by most night vision devices.
What got you guys to start Gridbase, and what is Gridbase?
Whether there was an event or not, as we became so dependent upon the convenience of the internet years, we all started losing some of the tribal, understandings that we all just had at one point. And I think everyone kind of thought, even prior to 2008 and prior to all that, what would I do without the internet? It's caffeine. I'm so dependent upon caffeine. What would happen if I didn't have it? Nicotine, whatever. All these things that we become dependent upon, you have to then ask yourself, oh no, what would I do without it? Yeah. And so I think, that was the point for me, was recognizing that in that area I was extremely dependent and not capable. And so my wife was about to give birth to our son. She was doing the nesting thing and making sure that the house was ready. And I kind of felt like a loaf, just going to work every day and not much else.
I'm providing.
And
I helped make the baby, and now I'm providing.
Yeah, and I felt like there was more of a responsibility for me as a father to make sure that I could give birth to my son in any circumstance. So this originally started with me downloading a midwifery book to be able to give birth to my son and take care of my wife after the fact. The same way that the gun community said, maybe I shouldn't be solely relying on police to protect my family.
Sure.
There's 15-minute response times, or whatever. I think as people kind of started to awaken to that aspect of it, people that weren't gun people might have said, oh, well, I need to decentralize my security methods, right? I don't need to be relying upon a police force or private security or mall security to defend me. I need to own that right as well. So very much the same way where people are like, guns are taking back the Second Amendment and the protection of that, radios are taking back the First Amendment and the protection of that as well.
What got you interested in this?
In radios or?
In all of this. How did you get involved in this project?
I actually gained a personal relationship with Jake from working together with him, and just from my interest in anything electrical. I have a degree in electrical engineering.
See, he's the smart person at the table. That's all he needs to tell you. That's a flex, more than you realize.
Jacob was here. So, when this started, it was me alone in a room. I had broken my foot in a motorcycle accident right at the start of all of this. And that's what really gave me a leg up in being able to just focus on this. And being able to focus on this. And so every time I was finding out something new about radios, he was the ear that I would bend on that.
This gets very dense very quickly. I think this is probably so we come from the shooting world. Most of our audience is going to be like, guns all the way. I can understand. Pew goes whatever. I make holes in paper. Most of them don't reload. Most of them for sure don't weld. They don't know how to work a machine press or a CNC machine. They don't know what STL files are. They're like, once you start getting to actually how to make the thing, they're like, I just give me the thing and give me the bullets and I can go do the rest of it, right?
You are me. 3 years ago, 4 years ago, Knuckle Dragon Texan didn't own a computer. I feel like that's really important for people to be able to understand, is that getting spooled up on this kind of stuff is possible, and I kind of was at a disadvantage because I just wanted to discover all systems. If you were more focused of just like, okay, I just need to talk to my wife from my house to my car, that's a way easier thing to narrow in on,
So explain kind of some of what you guys provide or what you guys would be into or what your suggestions to be. I'm Baofeng Gang Man. Baptize me in the fire that is equipment that I might need.
Absolutely. So this was our first product, the base station that we came out and developed, and this was what I was working on to have my wife give birth successfully. So this was it. This idea had existed for a while. I didn't like some of the stuff that was out there. Nobody sold a turnkey version. It just made sense to me to sell a turnkey version. Not everyone has 3D printing capabilities. Not everyone wants to buy a Raspberry Pi and learn Linux. So for me, I thought, you know what? Because if I could have bought it, I just would have. Then we wouldn't be sitting here.
Yeah.
You know? So if I could have just purchased it, I'd have bought it, and I'd have felt better for having it. So that was where the idea stemmed from. But it is the flagship product, and it features complete off-grid internet. And what I mean when I say that is more like intranet. Most people at their jobs have an internet that's just for their work. This is how that functions. So it's referencing itself. It's not going to a satellite. It's not going to a cell tower. It's going to a hard drive within itself, and it's serving up that information in a way that is much like an internet experience. So we have all of Wikipedia on here. We have tons and tons of PDFs. And if you can think of it, and it pertains to sustainment, quality of life, up to and including engineering a bridge or language learning in a new area, it is on this device. So it is a full scope product. We do that through our supporters, Kiwix. Kiwix is a software developer out of Switzerland. And so that's where we were able to aggregate all the information from. That's how we were able to compress it. That's all of those different things were provided to us through Kiwix software. And if you don't want to purchase this, you can download Kiwix software and configure it on your computer at home. Now, the people always ask, can I add my own stuff to it? Yeah, it's a computer. It's a field computer. Add whatever you want to it. The difference is you won't be able to stream it over the internal Wi-Fi card that's in there. So the benefit of this is it's collaborative. Yes, you can access it from this device, our off-grid internet suite, but also if I had it up, we could be all on our phones searching it independently as well.
Oh, very cool.
That is what people will not be able to do, is add it to that network.
The searchable network.
Because there is a very particular compression requirement and XML library file and a whole bunch of nerd crap that goes into being able to have that happen. Now, we are in development of a product that would allow you to do that, and that will be launching at some point once it's finalized. This was too much for the average person. All the feedback that I got was, I just want the off-grid internet. That's all I'm here for. So I had somebody hold up a T-Mobile hotspot, and they said, I just need it to be like this. And I was like, oh, So we went and made Pocket, and that's the device that you see in front of you here. And so it features it features the entire internet library that this has, carbon copy of that, just in a much more user-friendly, functional, case design. So it's small enough to be able to throw into a Faraday bag. So if you wanted to put it in a Faraday bag with maybe an old iPhone or Android phone that you had, you could certainly do that and shove it away for a rainy day.
I think what's interesting about this type of tech is that, and I think there's a lot of misconception on what it requires to get that much data available to you, right? And part of it, obviously, you have to power this in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
And there's going to have to be some sort of maintenance or infrastructure that you have to do that. But I mean, like with a relatively cheap, like solar-powered panel that I can kind of plug in and go do this thing, I mean, and that's just on the book side of it, which is kind of bonkers to me. Yeah.
One thing I'll say about the power thing, it's an extremely low power draw. So even a hand crank generator, would be enough to charge this thing up. While we're talking about battery, 12-hour standby life, 4-hour active. What I mean active is that if people are actively accessing the network and using it, you have a 4-hour approximate battery life with a 12-hour standby with 30-minute recharge times. So a Jackery could recharge this thing 4,000 times. It's a very efficient use of power. Getting to the origins and what it is and all of that as it pertains to the product line, this ends up being something that gives people the capability to augment their existing knowledge base. At the end of the day, all you have is you, and you need to be prepared in who you are and how you think and how you execute with the tools, whether they be tools you purchase and have or whether they be ad hoc tools that you make. It's up to you to be someone who is of a mindset that is prepared for any given scenario. We just simply can't sit here and isolate one particular use case. What this is a tool that augments that, right? So if your whole entire life is crumbling and the linchpin of it surviving or not is this product, you failed yourself as a person.
I was going to say, if you don't have some other skills outside of that, you're kind of struggling. But how do I cook an egg?
Right.
How do I do whatever?
Exactly. But this is for the person who ideally is looking to learn those things. Maybe there's things that you want to search that you don't want other people knowing that you're searching. Yeah. This would be a good opportunity to search those things.
In a community, being able to pass that knowledge on, it was done through song or written word or just tradition.
Pictures,
and any of that kind of stuff. This is infinitely more dense than any collection of books that you could readily carry with you. And if it's given the right set of infrastructure and you have enough people buying in, even if this gets smashed while I'm fighting off the zombies, if your community has 3 of them or 4 of them, now these are the kind of the holy grail for information, but like you're not losing the Library of Alexandria in one swing.
And I wanted to bring that up because, there's always the question gets asked, and I saw it was asked on the forum when we kind of pitched this a little bit to those folks, that can I add my own stuff to it? And I think it's a great logical next question, But what I would hope is, let me first address the question directly. No, you cannot. Okay, there's a couple of reasons for that. One, there's the potential for corruption. Okay, and we don't want that. We want a static drive that's there, it works, you turn it on every time.
Yeah.
If I gave everybody the opportunity to go in and add and reconfigure and stuff like that, there's a potential for corruption. And as the creator of it, I just can't allow it.
Sure.
But the other thing of that is that because we've put the Library of Alexandria in your pocket, my hope is that the items that you would want to add to it are so few and far between that you can save them in a small bit of storage on your phone or on a thumb drive or something like that. That's the place for those, and like I said, we have a product that's coming out in the future that will allow us to give people the opportunity to stably add their own files. That's what we're working on right now. But in the current configuration with Pocket, it's not possible. And will never be possible with Pocket. So it is a standalone Library of Alexandria. It is 90s tech. It is not updatable. Your Nintendo 64, as an example, did not need an update. If you could go dig it out of the closet right now, it would probably still work. And
I can confirm it does.
We're conditioned now in the day and age to, does it update? Do we need an update and all this kind of stuff? The information that's on there is legacy information. How to start a fire, how to purify water, how to stitch a wound. These are legacy information things that are static and don't change. Perhaps the only thing that could need an update is Wikipedia to know who the current president is of the United States or something. But it is a good question. People want to know, does it need updates or whatever? And it's conditioning with electronics. And the answer is no. Think of this as 90s Game Boy tech. It is put 2 batteries in it, turn it on. It works like it should. Everything that was there when you turned it off is still there the next time you turn it back on. This is not a new tech device. This is not something that requires updates. It is not configurable. It is a static book hard drive library.
I do like, and I think what people underappreciate about it is you also don't have to plug into it to get the data. I think a lot of people will sit there and give the example of, well, I could just have a thumb drive, and I could very easily have like a 2 or 3 terabyte hard drive that I'll go and plug into a device, right? But it's like plugs, like I have a Defender case on my phone, and it's great because I can throw my phone wherever I want to go do. But when I need to charge it, because I don't like doing the just regular magnetic charge, is terrible for your battery. But also, like, if I want to put in headphones or any of that stuff, I have to remove and open that little rubber seal. And every single time I do it, I'm like, that's one time closer to not being water resistant. Every single time I do it.
Have those USB drives too.
No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. But like this is kind of designed to be this thing that the only time I'm opening this thing is to turn it on.
Right.
And the second it's on, it now exists. I stick it in a pocket, use it for as long as I need to go do it, and then get it back to I need to go charge it. But I can make safe spaces to charge it. And this could probably get ruggedized, I'm sure, if you wanted to spend more money on a device like this. You can ruggedize the hell out of the thing to where maybe you don't ever have to break a seal like that. But it's like, ultimately, you're missing the point of the device if that's the case.
On the discussion of ruggedization, so this is from a company out of Colorado. This case in particular is from a company out of Colorado called S3 Cases. S3 Cases has been around for a very long time, and they make Berry compliant, made in America cases. So these are cases that are purchased on DoD contracts. These are very hardcore cases. So the seals in there are good. Everything's warranted. It is why not go Pelican? Pelican doesn't like to play with small people. That's the only reason.
Why not go Motorola for radios?
But now,
having
gone Pelican versus going S3, I would choose S3 even if Pelican wanted a deal. So the quality is very good. They're very thoughtfully designed cases, but a little bit on the ruggedization and what you're getting. You're getting a IP, what is the rating? X67, whatever. I can't remember the exact number.
The fact that it's got an IPX rating says something, that you can actually open. So limitations, and just to ask off the top of my head. So let's say I have this guy, right? And let's say I walk 10 feet that way. Can he still use it?
So it is the same Wi-Fi protocol as every other Wi-Fi protocol that's
Yeah.
in existence. So you're looking at approximately 300 to 500 feet of range.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So just the same way you would have, and this is also to say that if you have a Wi-Fi repeater, you can purchase a Wi-Fi repeater like the GLI nets are one in particular. They're like $20 or $30. You can repeat the Wi-Fi signal with one of those repeaters. So you could then establish a wider network of coverage or push that network of coverage somewhere else. If you start getting real creative, you could put directional antennas on your Wi-Fi repeater and shoot it further in one particular direction. But so because it's operating on a 82N11 Wi-Fi protocol, 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi protocol, it is going to be interoperable with every other Wi-Fi thing that's in existence out there.
So this is flagship product, which is I call it the baby.
I
NBC,
call it Pocket flagship.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, because
Pocket
really,
flagship,
we have so many more people that are interested in that than the base station. You know.
So base station, if you want to be based and have a station that's puttable in your car or whatever on the back of your motorcycle. Pocket station, effectively, where you're getting get access to stuff whenever you need it.
Right.
What else do you guys have, and what else are you guys doing in this space?
So we do a lot of custom builds for people. So we build like custom repeater boxes, which for those, this is super high level stuff. We also do classes in general. So we just got done with our outdoor comms class. We had over 17 attendees from across 5 different states. It was so much fun. And we are always making videos, whether that be long form on YouTube or short form content everywhere else. Podcast as well is a good spot for people to go to get that entry level, information. If there's a common question that you've thought of, I promise you it's in episodes 2 and 3 of our grid-based podcast.
Yeah.
Not just with our products, but also through the communications aspect, because as I mentioned earlier, if guns are protecting the second, radios and your ability to use them is protecting the first.
Yeah.
And now more than ever, I think a lot of people have got guns under control. We've got that part. Everybody's got a dot. Everybody's proficient with it. We've all got caches of
for the
ammo.
most part.
For
I
the
see
most
you
part.
people on the internet.
We all know at least that we should be dry firing, whether we are or not. And I believe that now we need to start looking at what it means to not be subjected to ridiculous terms of service in our communications method. And I believe it's high time that we take back our right to communication and start treating that as the tremendous responsibility that it is. And we are here to facilitate every aspect of that.
Very cool. Do you guys have any asks, I guess? Out of what do you guys want to see in this space? Do you guys want to see radio manufacturers? What do you guys want to see?
I would like to see more interoperability with existing equipment for civilian radios. We see a lot of stuff for the Perk 152s, the Perk 152 clones on the military side, and we are working with some companies to develop stuff like that. But I would love to see a solution from Spiritus that integrates with their Mark II for a civilian radio integration. I would love to see that.
If you want to stop funding corporo shady guys like BlackRock and whatnot that are probably going to try to get this video canned, you can go ahead and check out these guys here at Gridbase. They can at least get you squared away on comms. If you guys would like to join this conversation, you can either do it in the comment section below, or I will be doing a forum post about this if you are from the old ways of the internet.
Yes.
And you'd like to go do this in HTML formatted stuff. You can find these guys at Gridbase. They do have pre-orders on a lot of this equipment that's here. And they have better discussions that are much more long form on their podcast. Go check that stuff out. Support companies like this. I think a lot of people don't realize Magpul, bunch of other companies started off this small. Support them so they can get bigger, and likely you will be able to afford most of this stuff in the long run if you start making those investments now. Thank you guys for hanging out with us.
Thank you,
are
Josh.
going to
It's been a true
hopefully
pleasure.
go spread this message and hopefully get some more people involved in comms. If you would like, you guys can follow us on all of the socials where we get to have cool posts like this all the time, or go ahead and support the companies that are supporting your ability to go do this. You can go find our Discord personally at ARFCOM. Do you guys have anything like that?
Yes, of course. We've got Discord, all of that. Links are all on the website.
I'll go ahead and include those in the description section below, or as Bobby would call it, the doobly-doo. But we will go ahead and have that discussion there where we can hopefully proliferate some of that stuff. You guys can hopefully get some training and some really cool capability out of this stuff and support a really, really cool cause. Until next time, you guys stay dangerous and contribute to decentralization.
To God be the glory.
Until next time, we'll talk to you guys later.
Amen.